In this presentation, we are going to see about VR and AR technologies and how they are correlate to storytelling. In the table of contents, we are going to see VR, what is VR and AR technologies, what is immersive storytelling, some VR and AR applications, the possibilities and challenges of VR AR, VR and AR immersion and engagement, VR and AR differences in storytelling, AR and VR influence immersive storytelling, future of VR and AR, VR, AR and mythics, VR, AR accessible to everyone, VR and AR enables collaboration and participation, conclusion, bibliographic references and appendix. What is VR? Definition of VR. In order for virtual reality to be as realistic as possible, it requires the use of the most technological advanced processors, graphics, motion sensors, and displays. With the help of all of these simulations of real or imaginary worlds are created, in which humans can immerse themselves using virtual reality helmets. What is augmented reality? On the other hand, augmented reality is achieved by using much more affordable technologies such as smart devices, mobile phones, and tablets. Augmented reality is created when smart devices project the content they have stored in their memory into the real world, creating an overlapping reality. Some VR and AR technologies. Some virtual reality technologies include Oculus Rift S, Valve Index, HTC Vive Pro, Meta Quest 3S, and PlayStation VR 2. Some augmented reality technologies include Pokemon Go, Snapchat filters, and the Blockly XR kit, which is specifically designed for creating augmented stories. To help you better understand Blockly XR kit, I should tell you that it was created with children in mind, so no specialized programming knowledge is required. This means that it works exactly the same way as the Scratch app. You get ready made commands that you placed on the main interface and start create your narrative. Both virtual and augmented reality are being used as tools to create a new kind of storytelling called immersive storytelling, which I will break down for you in the next slide. Virtual and augmented reality technologies primarily target the sense of sight and secondarily the sense of hearing. For these reasons, the material offered to the users feels so realistic and alive. This is precisely where immersive three-dimensional storytelling differs from traditional through two-dimensional storytelling in the way our sense perceive the story. The story in immersive three-dimensional storytelling is told through text, images, sound, and 360-degree video, creating the illusion to the user that he's inside the world he's experiencing. Part as part of the story. Immersive storytelling transforms the way people engage with stories. People go from being passive recipients to active participants in the story, deciding for themselves how it unfolds. A very popular virtual reality application that is widely used for storytelling is Second Life. This particular, this particular application allows its users to do what it is title fully describes, to be able to live any life they wish within the virtual world. The application concerning the Asia Minor catastrophe allows users to learn from a historical perspective the events that led to the Asia Minor catastrophe. Augmented reality applications related to World Heritage sites are very popular with people traveling to these places because they offer them the opportunity to experience the sites as they were originally constructed. Another category of augmented reality offers people the opportunity to learn the essential elements that make up Chinese theater. Immersive storytelling facilitates the development of a more meaningful connection between the viewer and the story, resulting in direct interaction between the viewer and its characters, as well as greater emotional greater emotional impact compared to traditional form of storytelling. Another advantage of immersive storytelling beyond the viewer's participation as a first person in the development of the story is their participation as a third person. Humans are naturally curious and always process the environment they are in. The same happens when they are in an immersive narrative. This curiosity uh, pushes people to start exploring this unknown environment, resulting in either not focusing particularly on the main points of the narrative or completely distracting their attention from the development of the story. Another disadvantage that emerges during the development of immersive narrative is related to the overload of visual stimuli that the viewer receives. If the environment is rich in visual stimuli, this distracts the viewer's attention from the development of the story, which takes place through audio messages, dialogues between the characters in a story. Immersive technologies enha- enhance viewer engagement in the narrative in a variety of ways. Below, I will introduce three of them. Firstly, the characters in the story use human voice. Secondly, the use of virtual reality headsets and 360-degree video create rich visual immersive environments which aim to convey the highest quality and most detailed image possible to the viewer. In order to make him believe in the experience he is experiencing, in order to increase his desire to participate. Thirdly, is the quality of the script. The better the plot of the story and the quality of its structure, the more it moves the viewer. A study comparing the Oculus Quest virtual reality device to the Magic Leap and Mira Freeze augmented reality devices concluded that all three devices achieved high scores in all categories evaluated. The Oculus Quest virtual reality device received the highest scores in most categories, more specifically in the categories of spatial presence, engagement, feeling like I belong, realism, knowing what is being asked of me, and wanting to experience more their experiences. The higher scores of the Oculus Quest virtual device compared to the two augmented reality devices are due to the degree of immersion that the two technologies offers. There is a direct correlation between the use of virtual and augmented reality and the content of the story. In order for the story to be as believable as possible and the viewer's participation in it as great as possible, the designers of the graphic environment and the novelist might take account the cognitive, emotional, and behavioral parameters of the audience they are addressing. The future of immersive storytelling is expected to be exciting. The improved virtual and augmented reality technologies that will replace the existing ones aim to first The creation of everyday immersive storytelling relates to the live transmission of news, with which the viewer will be able to interact. Second, personal immersive narratives, which will be created for each individual individually based on the physical, cognitive, and behavioral characteristics. Third, the creation of a new type of mixed world, which will be a simultaneous combination of the physical and the virtual. Fourth, multi-participatory immersive storytelling with the simultaneous presence of many viewers in the same story. Fifth, specially designed psychological or emotional immersive narratives for a deeper emotional charge of the viewers. Some of the ethical issues that arise from the use of immersive technologies in storytelling will be presented below. First, as technology evolves, immersive worlds approach the real world in realism, the boundaries between reality and fantasy become blurred, resulting in issues related to the manipulation of perception and reality. Second, there are emotional and psychological risks involved in creating stressful narratives that seek to represent incidents that are not taking place in everyday human life. Third, immersive technologies are structured in such a way as to collect our biometric data as they focus on the movement of our eyes, hands, voice, biometric and even the way we behave in the virtual world. This has the consequences of violating our personal data. Fourth, due to the rich cost of immersive technologies, there is a risk that a part of the economically weaker population will be excluded from their use, creating an artificial digital uh, illiteracy gap. The cost of existing augmented and virtual reality technologies is a deterrent to the spread of these technologies to more people. If one takes into account that the creation of immersive narratives further increases the existing cost of this technology, then access to such narratives becomes impossible. Beyond the cost, however, there is another inhibiting factor for accessibility. There are people who are involved in voluntary exclude from the use of immersive technologies because they have some type of disability, like vision, hearing, or touch movement. In order to address the two aforementioned reasons, the cost of persuading immersive technologies should be reduced and new images should be created that will enable people with disabilities to either touch it or contain written text within the virtual world, or even have the option of choosing the language of the deaf within the virtual world. Immersive technologies, as mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, have created a new type of storytelling, the so-called immersive one. Viewers from passive receivers become active members of the story and interact with its characters. This interaction does not stop there because as immersive technologies evolve, new horizons open up in immersive storytelling with the creation of multidimensional scenarios that require the simultaneous presence and cooperation of many characters for their solution. This will result in multi-dimensional scenarios requiring the development of a stronger social presence as well as the creation of a team spirit. To, to make a conclusion, immersive technologies have laid the foundation for the development of a new field called immersive storytelling, which aims to create surreal experiences for its viewers. This is possible because the virtual worlds and scenarios that are developed are interactive, making the viewer an active member of the story. The active presence of the viewer is achieved because immersive storytelling targets specific cognitive, emotional, and behavioral centers of the human brain. On the next 5 slides, you can find the bibliographic references is used to write this presentation. On the last slide are the addresses of the applications that were presented. I hope that you enjoy the presentation.